Hey, what's up? It's not really a filler video, it's just kind of a hype video. If you haven't been following what's going on, Hiroyuki Kobayashi, he did Devil May Cry 4, Basara 4, Basara 3, and Dragon's Dogma. He announced that there's going to be a huge, unexpected announcement soon. People have been doing detective work. Apparently, Capcom has filed like copyrights or patents for both Dragon's Dogma 2 and Devil May Cry 5. So we're not really sure what to expect. I think it's pretty 50-50 chance for both games. We may end up getting both. We may end up getting one. Dragon's Dogma, from what I understand, didn't sell millions of copies. I think it sold like I think they said like 1.3 million copies or something, which, as you know, for a new IP in 2013 or 2012 when it came out, that's pretty huge. Most of the games that sell millions of copies are stuff like, Grand Theft Auto, Final Fantasy games, Call of Duty. Those have been around for years and years now. They've had a long time to build a fan base, and a lot of those games come out really often. So I think they decided that they met their threshold, that they may make a sequel to Dragon's Dogma. Obviously, what I'm more excited about is DMC5. The whole theme of this channel is character action games, stylish combat and stuff. I think Kobayashi, a lot of people hated on him for DMC4. I don't really think a lot of that was his fault or anybody on his team's fault, really. I think Capcom wanted to rush that game out of the door just to have it out because, remember DMC4 was announced way back in 2007. The last gen's consoles were, barely a year old at that point, except for the 360, which is maybe about a year and a half old. They needed to get something out the door for people like me who predominantly play beat-em-ups, character action games, which many people consider, including myself, character action games are pretty much the modern evolution of beat-em-ups. They have the same overall format. They're just more in-depth. There's more to them. They have more of a story, more in-depth mechanics, larger movesets, stuff like that. I think they really pressured him to put it out. It's the same thing that happened with Basara 3 and Basara 4. They gave him and his team, peanuts to make that game with, and no time to do it on. That's why the characters in Basara keep, they kind of play musical chairs with whether they're playable or not. Kenshin has been playable and unplayable like 3 times now. The reason for that is that they just don't give him the money. So if it does happen, I hope that Capcom, or who knows, maybe Sony's going to front the bill for it and they'll make it exclusive, like the way things started with the Devil May Cry series, and they'll front the bill. Maybe that will help, but I just hope that they're able to give it a modest budget. They actually give them the time they need to make the game, so we don't get stuff like DMC4. The main thing that people hated about DMC4 was the huge backtracking. The backtracking in that game was pretty similar to a Metroid game, and a lot of character action fans just really weren't used to that stuff. As you may know, I'm a pretty big Metroid fan. I played a lot of Metroid in high school. I used to speedrun Zero Mission. I used to be able to finish most of it during a lunch break, but a lot of people weren't accustomed to it. There was a lot of people complaining about Nero. But I hope that the rumor is true. I don't really like making videos based on rumors, but like I said, this one seems to be fairly grounded in reality. I mean, they filed a trademark or a patent or whatever it is for it, which means they're at least somewhat serious. I'm not really sure what's going to happen. It has been, by the time that they get around to announce it, it'll have been almost 7 years since the last mainline Devil May Cry game. DMC was a reboot and was not made by the same people. I think they've decided it's probably enough time to make another one. Honestly, the moment that they put out a trailer and they say that it's on PS4, I will buy one. Like, I don't know, I don't care if I have to sell a kidney to buy it. Like, I'll gladly drop down the $500 or whatever it is to get the game in the console. Like, that's all it will take. The other thing, it's kind of related. Kobayashi, apparently there's going to be a Basara Matsuri event in February, which, as you may know, it's like an event. It's pretty much like a Basara fan event. I'm sure, as you already know, it's a pretty ongoing, long-running inside joke in the hardcore Basara fan community. Basara has a very huge fan base of people who barely play the games. It's kind of like the Toho fan base. You know, you see people obsessed with the Toho girls, and they never actually play the games. Basara has the same thing. You know, they have a lot of fangirls that like all the Bishonen characters in the Basara games, which is predominantly why those games are such a sausage fest. They have to cater to those fan bases. They sell so much merchandise of Basara stuff that has almost nothing to do with the game. But they do tend to do game announcements at those events. A lot of us are thinking we're going to get some kind of new game announcement in February during that event. We're not sure what it's going to be. Basara 4 didn't sell too well. I don't think it sold to their expectations, which is pretty disappointing. It's definitely my contender for the #1 Musou game of 2014. There were a lot of Musou games. There was Samurai Warriors 4. There was DW8XL, which came out at the tail end of 2013, but might as well be 2014. There was a lot of stuff that came out, but Basara was definitely the most well-polished one. They did a lot to the game. They added a lot of good stuff. Obviously, it wasn't perfect. A lot of people had their favorites cut. I really wanted Kenshin to make it in again. He was a lot of fun to speedrun with, but he didn't make it in. I would be happy with either an expansion or a full-fledged sequel. We're not really sure what's going to happen. Japan, the Japanese gamers are a lot like me. Very late adopters of new consoles. They tend to wait until there's at least a couple games out before they go and, you know, plunk down the however many yen it is for them to get a PS4. The PS3 was the same way. When the PS3 launched, you know, there was still stuff like, you know, Devil May Cry 3, all the Persona games, you know, Tales of the Abyss, Final Fantasy 12. There were a lot of megatons that came out right around the PS3's release, and a lot of the Japanese couldn't be bothered to make an upgrade, which is why you know, the first 2 years of the PS3 was pretty lackluster. It was a big inside joke. You know, it was a $600 paperweight. It had nothing of not much of note to play on it. So we're not really sure what direction they're going to take. It could just be an expansion. If they do an expansion, I imagine they'll do another musical chairs, and they'll put the cut characters back in, at least most of them. I would like to see another mode, honestly. What the game has to offer right now, the fatigue sets in pretty fast. I know a lot of people said that same thing about what's it called, Samurai Warriors 4. The modes in that were not too interesting either. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. I will keep you guys updated. I don't really like doing videos on rumors, but like I said, there's a lot of evidence that we're going to get something from either of those franchises very soon, if not both. Both would probably make me squeal like a fangirl, but I'd be content with one. Like I said, DMC5 is pretty high chance of it happening. Either that, Dragon's Dogma, or both. I think those would be pretty big megatons for the current gen consoles, because I'm sure, as you know, there's not really a whole lot of stuff for people like me on there at all right now. It's a pretty barren wasteland for, you know, I play action JRPGs, character action games, fighting games, not as much as I used to. They don't have much of that on there, so we'll see what happens. Anyway, I will see you guys tomorrow. I have been feeling a little down, some personal reasons I don't want to get into. I need a little break, but I am going to put out some Heart SAR stuff while I take a little time to recover. I'm going to be taking today off, just chilling. Going to go to the gaming lounge, probably play some Bayonetta 2, or report back to you guys on that. But anyway, I will keep you guys posted on all kinds of updates. It's kind of just a new thing. I will be updating on titles that don't get much love from the big channels. You know, Maximilian, he does a lot of stuff for Street Fighter, but stuff like Devil May Cry, Samurai Warriors, and Basara doesn't get much love. So let me know if you guys want to see more of these. Peace.